every 5 minutes in the world, one person over the age of 60 loses the ability to get out of a chair on their own and never regains that freedom again. This isn't a script for a disaster movie. This is the cold, hard medical statistic of sarcopenia. It's a silent process that literally shuts down your muscles, turning healthy, independent adults into people reliant on assisted living. If you're over 60 and you've noticed that your grocery bags feel heavier than they used to, or that a flight of stairs leaves you winded, this video isn't just information, it's a survival guide. Right now, let's do a quick reality check. If you feel your strength has dipped compared to where you were 5 years ago, drop the number 5 in the comments below. This helps us see just how widespread this issue really is among our community. Have you ever felt like your body is wearing an invisible lead suit? That heaviness isn't just fatigue, it's a red alert from your nervous system. In medicine, we call this a neuromuscular interface failure. Imagine trying to flip a light switch in your living room, but the wiring is frayed. You flip the switch. Your brain sends the signal, but the bulb, your muscle, barely flickers. Does that feeling sound familiar? Where your legs are technically yours, but they respond with a lag or shake when you put weight on them. This is where most folks make a fatal mistake. They start blindly downing protein shakes or pushing their worn-out joints with heavy walking, which only accelerates the damage. But what if I told you that you can repair that wiring at a biochemical level just by adding the right alkaloids to your morning routine? We're talking about the liquid neuroplasticity protocol, a method that triggers the regeneration of the connections between your brain and your muscles. If staying out of a nursing home is a priority for you and you want to know how to do it without expensive prescriptions, smash that like button right now. It's a simple signal for the YouTube algorithm to show this life-saving info to the people who need it most. Let's start with the first restoration agent, which many people mistakenly think is just a spicy holiday drink. I'm talking about ginger tea. But forget everything you know about gingerbread cookies. In the context of muscle, we don't care about the taste. We care about the molecular work of gingerols. These compounds act like a biological solvent for chronic inflammation. Imagine the rust that accumulates in your joints over decades, locking up your muscle movement. Ginger is essentially the WD-40 for your body. It doesn't just mask the pain, it physically reduces the fluid buildup that compresses your nerve endings. Let's be honest, it's hard to move freely when your ankles feel like they're dragging cement blocks, isn't it? Let's look at the story of Robert, a 67-year-old retired contractor from Ohio. 2 years ago, he couldn't lift his grandson because of shooting pains in his lower back and legs that felt like cotton. His doctors suggested slowing down, maybe looking into pain management, but Robert took a different route. He started using ginger based on the shock dosage scheme we'll discuss in a moment. Within 21 days, he noticed something strange. The morning stiffness that had plagued him for a decade was gone. He just got up and walked to the kitchen to make coffee, forgetting that he usually needed 10 minutes just to limber up. Do you ever have those mornings where it takes a while for your body to fully boot up? Type the word morning in the comments if that hits close to home. Let's see how many of us are dealing with this. But here is where the devil is in the details. Just tossing a slice of root into boiling water is like waving the ginger over your cup. Zero effect. To release those specific gingerols, you need the thermal shock technique. Take a piece of root about the size of your thumb, slice it thin, don't grate it or you'll oxidize the juice, and pour water that is strictly between 185 degrees Fahrenheit and 195 degrees Fahrenheit over it. Boiling water kills the enzymes, lukewarm water won't extract them. You need to steep it for exactly 12 minutes, covered. Have you ever brewed tea with a stopwatch, or do you usually just wing it? There is also a strict anti-list. Never drink this concentrated infusion on an empty stomach unless you want heartburn. And most importantly, do not drink it after 6 p.m. Ginger revs up your blood flow so intensely that you simply won't be able to sleep from the surge of heat and energy. It's a powerful stimulant, not a bedtime calmer. Have you ever eaten or drunk something and felt such a rush of internal heat that you wanted to open a window even in winter? Now, let's move to the second element, which tackles an even more dangerous cause of weakness: vascular starvation. As we age, the capillaries feeding our muscles tend to collapse, and the tissue literally starts to suffocate from a lack of oxygen. Why? For the purpose of restoring muscle blood flow and eliminating that evening heaviness in your legs, the protocol requires consuming hibiscus exclusively chilled or at room temperature. A piping hot infusion causes a short-term spasm, which might give a false sense of alertness, but actually blocks the relaxation of blood vessel walls. Imagine trying to cool down an overheated car engine by pouring boiling water on it. Absurd, right? Yet millions of Americans do this every day. There is a simple test for the state of your vascular system. If, after a cup of hot red tea, you feel a sudden flush of heat to your face, that's a signal your vessels are struggling with thermoregulation. Have you ever experienced that sudden hot flush? If yes, type the word heat in the comments. It helps us understand how common this vascular reaction is among our viewers. The tactical scheme for taking hibiscus looks like this: 2 tablespoons of whole dried flowers. Avoid the crushed dust in tea bags. There are almost no essential oils left there. Are poured into a quart of water at about 195 degrees Fahrenheit and left to steep until completely cool. This ruby red elixir is drunk in small portions throughout the second half of the day, but strictly before 7 p.m. Why the limit? Hibiscus has a mild diuretic effect, and if you drink it right before bed, nighttime bathroom trips will ruin your production of human growth hormone, which repairs muscles specifically while you sleep. You want to wake up rested, not running to the bathroom all night, right? By the way, there is one non-obvious nuance that tea manufacturers keep quiet about. Never, and I mean never, drink hibiscus on an empty stomach if you have even the slightest hint of acid reflux or GERD. The fruit acids are aggressive and can cause a flare-up. If this info about temperature and timing is new to you, hit that thumbs up icon. It's a small action that helps the algorithm show this video to others who are trying to manage swelling and blood pressure the wrong way. Now we approach the third, most complex and powerful element of the triad. This drink is often called the elixir of immortality, but in the context of saving muscle after 70, its role is much more specific. We are talking about green tea, but not that sugary bottled stuff from the gas station. We are talking about a biochemical tool to protect mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside your muscle cells. As we age, these power plants start to smoke, producing more toxins than energy, which causes muscles to wither and shrink. Have you ever wondered why, even after a full night's sleep, you sometimes feel shattered, like you've been hauling bricks? That is a mitochondrial crisis. The secret of green tea lies in a substance with a complex name: epigallocatechin 3-galate, EGCG. Don't let the science scare you, just think of it as a cellular sniper. It locates muscle areas damaged by oxidation and blocks the decay process. It's a scientifically proven fact. A regular intake of EGCG reduces the rate of sarcopenia, muscle loss, by 30 to 40%. You are literally preserving your strength. But this works only under one condition, which 9 out of 10 people violate. Did you know that adding milk or cream to green tea neutralizes its benefits by 100%? The protein casein binds to the catechins, turning a healing drink into useless colored water. Many people drink tea with a splash of milk their whole lives, never suspecting they are stripping away their protection. How do you take your tea, plain or with milk? Share in the comments below. Our research team is always curious about what percentage of people intuitively choose the right option. Let's look at the case of Linda, 74. Formerly an active woman, she started noticing her hands were getting weak. Even holding a kettle became a problem, and she developed a tremor. Doctors chalked it up to just aging or potential Parkinson's. However, the root issue was oxidative stress in her muscles. Linda switched to a strict protocol: 2 cups of high-grade green tea a day, brewed with 175 degrees Fahrenheit water, never boiling, and strictly without sugar or milk. 2 months later, the tremor subsided, and her grip strength increased enough for her to return to her hobby, quilting, which she had given up a year prior. Imagine the relief a person feels when they regain control over their own hands. The mechanics here go deeper than they appear. Green tea also improves insulin sensitivity. This means the food you eat doesn't go to belly fat, but straight to your muscles, fueling them with energy. This is critical for seniors whose metabolism has slowed down. You get a double effect. Muscles are preserved and excess weight drops off. But be careful. Green tea contains caffeine. To avoid overloading your nervous system, your last cup should be finished no later than 4 p.m. If you feel this information could help a loved one who complains of weakness, hit the share button and text them this video. Sometimes one link can change a person's quality of life. So, we have 3 elements. Ginger cuts inflammation, hibiscus manages vascular logistics, and green tea protects cellular power plants. But simply drinking them one after another isn't enough. There is a golden algorithm for combining them throughout the day that amplifies the effect of each component. This is called synergy. If you drink them in the wrong order, they can cancel each other out. Are you ready to learn the perfect schedule that turns your tea time into a strict medical rejuvenation procedure? However, before we reveal the final blueprint, it is crucial to dispel one dangerous myth. Many people think more is better and start drinking these teas by the gallon. This is a gross mistake that can lead to leaching calcium from your bones. Your muscles might get stronger, but your bones will get brittle. How do you find the balance without hurting yourself? The answer lies in the dosage that almost no one talks about. Do you know your daily fluid requirement? Type your body weight, just the number, in the comments, and in the next block, we will break down how to calculate the ideal volume of medicinal teas specifically for your body size so you don't overload your kidneys. The answer to the dosage question might seem counterintuitive, but this is exactly where the difference between medicine and poison lies. There is a hydration math trap that most health-conscious people fall into. They start drinking gallons of herbal brews, thinking they are flushing their system. In reality, excess liquid without accounting for body weight washes out sodium and potassium, the very electrolytes responsible for muscle contraction. Imagine trying to water a potted plant with a fire hose. The water doesn't nourish the roots. It washes away the soil, leaving the plant without support. A paradox arises. You drink for strength, but you get cramps and weakness. Do you know that feeling where you drink plenty of water, but the thirst doesn't go away and your mouth stays dry? The formula for safe volume is simple but strict. A general rule of thumb for total daily fluid is to take your body weight in pounds and divide it by 2 to get the number of ounces. Out of this total volume, medicinal teas, ginger, hibiscus, green, should not exceed 30 to 40%. For a person weighing 150 pounds, that's 75 ounces total fluid. 30% of that is roughly 22 to 23 ounces of active tea, about 3 standard cups. Anything beyond that creates stress on the kidneys and heart. Right now, grab a calculator, take your weight in pounds, divide by 2, and then multiply by 0.3. Write that final number in the comments. That is your personal safety limit that doctors recommend you do not cross. Now, let's move to the biggest secret of efficiency, the chronobiological schedule. Drinking these teas in random order is like taking a sleeping pill in the morning and an espresso at night. The ingredients are the same, but the result is catastrophic. Your body lives by circadian rhythms. In the morning, it needs a cortisol push to start metabolism. During the day, it needs protection from oxidative stress. And in the evening, it needs vascular relaxation. If you drink green tea in the evening, the caffeine blocks adenosine receptors in the brain, and instead of the deep sleep that repairs muscles, you get anxious insomnia. Have you ever wondered why sometimes, even when you go to bed on time, you toss and turn for hours? Consider the story of Arthur, 70, who complained of blood pressure spikes and morning grogginess. He was drinking ginger tea in the evening to stay warm and hibiscus in the morning for the taste. This completely scrambled his body's settings. The ginger revved up his blood flow before bed, preventing his body from cooling down for sleep, and the hibiscus dropped his pressure too sharply in the morning, causing dizziness. When Arthur switched the drinks to the morning fire ginger, midday, energy, green, evening, relax, hibiscus, protocol, his condition stabilized in a week. His pressure stopped spiking and his sleep became deep. If you want to fix your sleep and energy cycle without pills, hit the notification bell under this video so you don't miss the final part with the amplification recipes. The ideal algorithm looks like this. 1. Morning, 30 minutes after breakfast. Ginger tea. It triggers thermogenesis, warms up the muscles, and preps joints for the day's load. 2. Midday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Green tea. This is the peak of mitochondrial activity, and antioxidants work most effectively here, protecting tissues from wear and tear. 3. Evening, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Hibiscus, room temp poth cool. It relieves the vascular spasm accumulated during the day, reduces swelling, and preps the cardiovascular system for rest. Have you ever mixed up the timing of your vitamins or meds? Type guilty in the comments. It's a common mistake that is easily fixed. But even the perfect schedule won't work 100% if you ignore the lemon activation rule. This is a biochemical hack that increases the absorption of nutrients from green tea by 5 times. Green tea catechins are very unstable and break down quickly in the gut before they reach the muscles. However, adding vitamin C, lemon juice, creates an acidic environment that preserves the antioxidants, allowing them to enter the bloodstream almost intact. Imagine sending a package. Without sturdy packaging, lemon, the contents break on the way, but with packaging, it arrives safe and sound. Here is the critical mistake almost everyone makes: squeezing lemon into boiling water. At temperatures above 140 degrees Fahrenheit, vitamin C destroys instantly, and you get nothing but sour water. You must add lemon strictly to tea that has cooled down to a drinkable temperature. It's a tiny action that changes everything. Do you squeeze the lemon immediately, or do you wait? If you've been doing this wrong, hit the like button. It's an honest signal that you learned something new and useful. There is also a secret ingredient that turns ginger tea from a merely healthy drink into a potent anti-inflammatory agent comparable to pharmacy drugs. It is curcumin, but it is not absorbed by the body without one simple catalyst. If you add a pinch of turmeric and black pepper to your ginger tea, the bioavailability of active substances increases by 2,000%. That is not a typo, 2,000%. Pepper contains piperine, which literally opens the floodgates in your intestinal cells for the healing molecules to pass through. Are you ready to try this spicy but incredibly effective cocktail to save your joints? However, this entire system has strict contraindications that health bloggers often keep quiet about. Natural does not mean safe for everyone. Who is categorically forbidden from drinking ginger? In what cases can green tea destroy the liver instead of restoring it? And most importantly, what is the single common food item that completely blocks the action of all three teas if eaten within an hour of your tea time? The answer might shock you, as this product is in almost every American fridge. The silent killer of benefits, which negates all your restoration efforts, is ordinary cottage cheese, yogurt, or milk eaten at the same time as your tea. The calcium and casein found in dairy products undergo a chemical reaction with polyphenols and antioxidants, forming insoluble compounds. A process called chelation occurs. The useful molecules literally get glued together and pass through your body without ever being absorbed into the blood. Imagine buying an expensive plane ticket but leaving your passport at home. The trip is canceled. The same thing happens when you wash down a cheese sandwich or a yogurt parfait with green tea. Do you often pair tea with dairy? If yes, type the word dairy in the comments. This will help us gauge how common this nutritional conflict is. Now, let's move to a critically important chapter: who these drinks can seriously harm. Naturalness is not a guarantee of safety, and every powerful remedy has its blacklist. Let's start with ginger. This root is a potent anticoagulant. It thins the blood. If a person is already taking prescription blood thinners, like warfarin or Coumadin, adding ginger can lead to dangerous internal bleeding. This is called a synergistic overdose. Have you ever found unexplained bruises on your body? This could be the first signal that your blood clotting is too low. Take the case of Steve, 76, who decided to clean out his arteries and started drinking a quart of ginger tea a day while continuing to take his heart medication. 2 weeks later, he ended up in the ER with a nosebleed that couldn't be stopped for hours. The doctors were baffled until they learned about his tea diet. The ginger had tripled the effect of his medication. If you are taking any heart medication, you absolutely must consult your doctor before introducing ginger into your diet. Type "safety first" in the comments if you agree that your health shouldn't be a guessing game. Green tea also has its pitfalls. Due to its high tannin content, it blocks the absorption of iron from food. For people with anemia, low hemoglobin, or vegetarians, this can cause chronic weakness and dizziness. It becomes a vicious cycle. A person drinks tea for energy, but their hemoglobin drops, causing even more fatigue. Do you know that feeling where you stand up too fast and everything goes dark for a second? That is a classic sign of oxygen starvation in the brain, which can be aggravated by improper drinking habits. To avoid this, green tea should be drunk strictly separate from meat meals, with a pause of at least 1 hour. However, even if all safety rules and dosages are followed, teas will not bring muscles back if the main component is missing, the signal to grow. These drinks create the perfect biochemical environment. They remove inflammation, deliver oxygen, and provide energy. But without a physical stimulus, the body won't understand why it needs to build new tissue. Imagine you filled your car with premium gas and oiled every part, but never turned the key. The car isn't going anywhere. Similarly, muscles do not grow without movement, even on the best fuel. The secret to success lies in the 30-minute window. The most effective time for light activity is 30 to 40 minutes after a cup of green or ginger tea. At this moment, the concentration of active substances in the blood peaks, blood vessels are dilated, and the pain threshold is lowered. You don't need to run a marathon. Just doing 10 simple squats holding onto a chair or taking a brisk walk around the block is enough. At this moment, the brain receives a powerful signal. Resources are available. There is a demand for strength. Start construction. Are you ready to accept this small challenge? Drink the tea and do a simple warm-up? If yes, smash that like button as a sign of your intention to take action. In the end, age is just a number on a driver's license, but how you feel is a matter of your body's biochemistry. Sarcopenia, weakness, and the loss of independence are not a life sentence. They are just the result of a deficit in the right elements and signals. By using nature's simple tools, ginger for inflammation, hibiscus for blood flow, and green tea for cellular protection, you can rewrite the script of your aging process. The choice is always yours. Let the body fade or give it the resources to rebuild. This path doesn't require heroic efforts. It just requires awareness and consistency. Start with 1 cup of the right tea tomorrow morning. Listen to your body, and perhaps, in a month, you will find that the stairs that seemed insurmountable have become just steps again. If this information was valuable to you, subscribe to the channel right now. In the next episode, we will break down a list of 5 popular foods that destroy joints faster than age does, and which dietitians often stay silent about. Don't miss it. Stay healthy, stay independent, and I'll see you in the next one.